Hello Libra, welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. So tonight, Libra, we have Sol, right? The sun. And, this card, I always, when I see it, I say, oh no. I have to be honest, because to me, it is so much about something being revealed, right? I think of the card as like high noon, right? Which is something I learned not too long ago, is that high noon is not actually at the 12 o'clock hour. Sometimes it might be, but it's actually when the sun is in the highest station of the sky, right at the top. And what happens when the sun is directly above everything? Yeah, it does not cast a shadow. So that means everything is illuminated to see very clearly, unmistakably, right? And so we see this card, and I think, okay, we're going to be coming into some truths here. We're going to be, lifting the veil a bit. So let's go ahead. We're going to spin this, and then we'll knock on it 3 times just to be polite. Okay, and lift. And we're going to go ahead and take a look here. And I want to tell you, thank you so much for deciding to click on this reading. I know a lot of people have never even heard of a tea leaf reading, let alone seen one. So thank you for being brave. Thank you for being curious. Thank you for being here with me. Now, if you are returning, or maybe you're an expert in tea leaf reading, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Welcome home. Let's get into this thing, okay? So, this one gave us some nice. So the first thing I want to point out is it looks like we have J-O-S, maybe an H over here. So it would be maybe Josh. It could be Joss as well, or Joe's. It could be Joe and the S, right? And so if that resonates with you, we often do see names or fragments of names or words or initials and so on. That is not uncommon. Okay, so I want to look at right down here. We have what looks like a goddess. Immediately reminds me of Hera, Isis, even with the arms raised, like this Tanit, or Tanit. I always mix it up, but not really detailed images of that goddess in particular, although they have these like very kind of geometric shapes. It's like a very, almost kind of like a glyph, right? And arms raised. Now, this one is holding, it looks like a flower in one, and almost to me seems like it is waving or sending off this bird, right? And what is the bird? The bird is a messenger. This means that there is a message being sent out. Now, really, above all of the goddesses, I must say, this with the flower, I'm thinking has to be Persephone. Now, that makes sense, right? Because we are coming up on spring. Hopefully soon, right? Now, you might be in the southern hemisphere and you're going into fall. You're getting into that harvest. You're more in the lands of Demeter, that is Persephone's mother. But we're going to go with Persephone, which I also kind of equate very much with the Empress, okay? Now we also have a horse over here. It looks like a stag and looks like it's like very powerful. The horse represents the intention, the want, or the actual process of changing aspects of your life, right? Packing up your saddlebag, getting all your little things together, putting the saddle on the horse, getting up on there and riding on out, right? This is all very intentional. And so, yeah, I do. I feel like you are coming into this moment, this era of your life, right? Beginning. And I just feel like it's kind of like I'm fed up with how things have been. Not that they've been terrible. Excuse me, I'm taking a drink here. If you've been on the channel at all, you know I've been sick for like ever, but I'm pretty much almost all the way better. Still though, my throat, I don't know, it gives out here and there. So thank you for being understanding. Now, what was it? I lost my train of thought real quick. Oh yes, yeah. Tired of how it's been. Now, I said it might not have been terrible or it's not terrible. It could be, right? That is relative to each of us, right? I might go through something really difficult, like traumatizing almost, right? And think this isn't that terrible. But then I drop a jar or something and there's stuff all over the floor and I just think, oh, this is the worst it's ever gonna be. In that moment I feel like it is terrible. So I don't know if things have just been stale, if you have been feeling stagnant. That's the feeling I'm getting more than anything. Just kind of gray. Okay, so we have this goddess energy that shows up, and as she's walking through your life, there are flowers growing beneath her feet, birds flying overhead, right? Tweedly-deedly-deeding, and it feels just kind of almost like, Bambi or Snow White or one of these beautiful and sweet moments. And, it's kind of like, it's that moment where you think, oh my gosh, I've been depressed, or I don't know how I've been living like this. I feel like I've been living in this like very monotone, just kind of like trying to get through the murk of things, just whatever, and on autopilot, right? And something happens and it reminds you what it feels like to be alive, to be present, to be excited about your life, to notice the beautiful things, to enjoy stuff again. I don't know if you've ever gone through a period of time like that where even the stuff that you usually just love, it's always that thing you go back to that's comforting, and it just doesn't feel like anything, right? It doesn't feel important anymore. Well, I feel like you've caught yourself. You've caught yourself and you've said, okay, this is it. Something has to be different going forward, right? Because this isn't fair to me and it's not fair to anybody else. I am absolutely guilty of, having periods of time, days, sometimes even a week or two where I get very melancholy, and I'm just going through the movement and doing the tasks, like it's like muscle memory, and I feel like a ghost in my own home with my own family, and it's not their fault, not at all, right? It's something that I deal with. A lot of us deal with, right? Even if you're not diagnosed with, depression or any of the things that could also have depression kind of linked to it. We all have those moments. So I feel like this is a blessing, right? To be kind of jolted out of that place. And, and still have that, the will, the like survival instinct, that fight to want to change it. And not just to want to change it, but to be willing to do the work to change it. And I feel like you have all of those things in line. And that the horse tells me that. That's it whispered in my ear. No, the symbol tells me. The horse is not talking to me. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So we do have, I want to bring this over here. I'm going to look at it this way. I look at it in I look at it just my eye to the plate. I look at it, I have a little view kind of thing on my camera that's right up here. And then I also have this other screen that shows me what the camera's seeing, but it's larger. So it looks different even than the small viewer. So I look at all three of them to kind of gain perspective of like, what is this that we're looking at? So So we have a Capricorn, definitely a prominent Capricorn. Look at this one right here. It's that weird, sorry Capricorn if you're listening. I'm an ascendant Capricorn, so I'm allowed to say it, I guess, right? The goat with the weird like sea tail, right? Have you ever, I never even realized that it wasn't just a goat until I started doing readings, which is absolutely crazy, I know, but I was like, wait a second, what is that thing on its tail? I didn't realize it was a sea goat. But so I'm looking at this and we have a prominent Capricorn. I'm wondering if this is mom, it might be dad, it could be a spouse, maybe not a child. I think this is more like somebody that's either a peer or somebody kind of in a role of not like authority, but like they were some kind of caretaker, a mentor, a teacher, something like that. So I feel like this is a person that really struggled to, I feel like they wanted to, or I'm saying it past tense, but I think because this is old, I don't think it's like they've passed on or anything. But it feels like to me, like they were always trying to get the family together. Like always trying to get everybody on the same page, to get along, for everything to kind of just be cool. But I feel like they're also by nature a very introverted person, probably fairly solitary, somebody who had like a lot of projects that kind of, kept them off to themselves. And so it wasn't like like a natural kind of thing for them to be the ones trying to kind of, get everybody, like in this cohesive, happy, connected, like a connected, group of people. And yet they found themselves in this role. Okay. Now I'm looking at, we have the cornucopia. So that's why I'm thinking this is all about like togetherness, about trying to do like holidays and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know that they did the best job, but I think that that they really tried. They really tried. And I think that for you, as a Libra, maybe you are somewhat introverted, but you are also really good at talking to people, being close to people. You're very understanding and empathetic. And I always say this on the Libra readings is I always think of you all as kind of like counselors and sponsors and, you know, therapists and social workers and teachers and maybe in like the medical field, because you're really good at being heart to heart with people while you also retain your autonomy, right? You're very much your own person as well. So I feel like for you, you kind of are coming into the same role as this person. This likely it feels like a parent. But I think that for you, it's almost like magic. This is like you're really good at bringing people around. You're very good at mediating, very good at diplomacy. And I'm looking at this. It looks like some kind of like shaman person, arms raised. And, you know, I don't know. It looks like it says you if you put it around this way. Okay. Oh, and it looks like it's also 60, 6, 0, right there, 6, 0. But I feel like at times it almost feels overwhelming to you because it doesn't seem like you have a lot of help. And I feel like it's just like pulling teeth trying to get people to like show up, to be together, to not, you know, I don't even think it's about people fighting as much as caring enough to like go and like show up somewhere and be together, right? And so I feel like for you, you just often feel like it's just, you just want to, and again, we have a horse, you just want to give up. You want to do something else. And so ultimately, I really feel like this is the big energy that I'm getting from all of this, is that in this next cycle of time, you are going to be doing your own thing. You know, I heard somebody say the other day, you never really see somebody like get their life together. Now, unless you work in a field where you assist with these things, of course. But like if you have like a friend, right? You went to high school, their life is falling apart. You know, they're like middle aged. I'm drawing upon my own. You know, I'm at that age again. We had one like maybe 10 years ago where everybody's life was falling apart. And then they got it together. And now, again, we're getting into that knocking on middle age, right? And so, you know, you like somebody you know, right, from school, their life is a mess. You see it online, whatever. They disappear, right? You know they're alive. Probably, or whatever. Like you know, you like when you have somebody on your social media that you knew or you grew up with or whatever, and like they all of a sudden they disappear. Like, you know, I don't know about you, but I'll check. I'll go on like Messenger and just be like, okay, when's the last time they logged in? Just to make sure, right? Everything's cool, because I'm out of the loop. I don't talk to anybody really. So then all of a sudden, you know, a year later, 6 months later, a year later, they show back up. They have a new job. They look good. Maybe you know, their relationship is thriving. They're getting married to somebody they met, you know, whatever. They went away and worked on themselves. They went away and did the work. The most important work is the stuff that nobody sees. And it's not like these big, huge changes. No, it's like the little stuff. It's the everyday little stuff that we, you know, we plug along, right? We make these little changes to our lives And over time, it kind of turns into something bigger and bigger, and then it's part of how you live, right? And so I feel like you're kind of like beginning this cycle for yourself. And I have to show you this. We have the omega right here, right in the center. What is the omega? It's the last letter of the Greek alphabet, and it means end, right? And so I feel like there is an ending here, and I feel like it's not easy, but I feel like, oh my gosh, you're ready for something else. You're ready for something else. So I see you really in this hermit mode. The world out there, it's like you open the window and it's just crazy out there. It's just chaos. You get on the things, on the, social media, complaining, angry, everybody's going through it, which, yeah, everybody is going through it, right? But the worry and the anxiety and the time suck of that, putting that aside, right? And just staying focused on your own stuff, on yourself, on what your next step is. Because that goddess, she's showing up. She's walking around in your gardens. There are flowers blooming everywhere. It's the invitation that we're all waiting for. We just got to get going on it, right? Okay, let's see. What are our lucky numbers, Libra? We're going to have 3 of them. Let's throw this die and see what's going on. All right, number 4. Number 4. Number 84. Nice. 4 so far. And number 6. All right. And number 6. And we're going to end with our self-care affirmation deck of cards. And we're going to flip. We're going to stop where it feels right. I feel like this one on the bottom, I can't see it, but it feels like it wants to be. Of course, we get you all the time. You love coming out to show yourself. The wanderlust of the spirit. I follow my spirit on its wanderlust. I'm guided by intuition and character. I trust myself to journey freely. I trust myself to journey freely. All right. I don't know. I always feel like, yeah, I could go anywhere and do anything, right? I don't know if it's just because I've gotten older or, I've just done so many random things in my life. I don't know. If I can wanderlust around my own house and kind of work on my own projects at home, then I'm about that life. Other than that, it's impossible. We were talking about maybe taking a very super duper modest little vacation this summer. And shout out to, by the way, me and my husband, we're talking about it. His name is Paul, and you all probably know him. He's over at Dove and Serpent Tarot. That is my husband. I know, I feel like I can fangirl. Like, I'm married to that guy. But yeah, we were talking about taking a very modest trip. And we couldn't agree. We didn't know where. We also have she'll be 5, I think, 5 around that time. So, something that she would like as well. So we settled on camping in our own backyard, most likely. So I'm excited about that. But that's the wanderlust, right? Out to the backyard. Anyways, Libra, I love you. I thank you so much for spending this time with me Here comes TT. She's going to meow her head off. And if you want to like, subscribe, leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. TT wants to hear from you too. And other than that, yeah, I think that's it. All right, Libra, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in just a few days. Good night. Good night. Good night.